contract? Of course. Second. Idiot. I never give up, even if you killed me.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
I'm Ranuma.
And I'm Ace.
And welcome to the R&I Podcast.
Welcome. Today we got a good show for y'all.
For sure, we do.
And we're going to be bringing in our guest, Leo Serrano. Leo, what's up? Say what's up,
guys. How's it going, everybody?
Not much. What's up with you, Leo?
Living life.
Yes.
Living the life.
All right, so guys, what we did, what me and Randolph did, we were like, yo, Leo, watch this anime, and we're going to talk about it. And he was just like, no. And I was like, no, you have to.
Like, he had no choice. Choice.
Like, literally, and they were going to get beat up by Anos, and he's only a month old. You know what I'm saying?
He is. He didn't even age at all.
Like he's like 1 month. And, the mom, going through some conclusions, But anyway, so today we'll be talking about the Misfit of Demon King Academy on Crunchyroll. That's where I watched it. I'm pretty sure that's where you guys watch. I don't know if it's available anywhere else.
Watched it on Crunchyroll too.
Yeah.
Oh, the role of
yeah, shameless plug right there. Shameless plug. Crunchyroll, what's up? What's up?
Oh, man.
All right, so I guess let's do a couple of things. We're gonna give like our first thoughts of the show. We'll give it to Ranuma. Ranuma, what did you think of the show?
Man, I was watching it, and you know how every main character always has a struggle in every story?
Yes.
This dude just has like no struggle at all. No effort. Like, it was like effortless. Like, at times where every time he thought or he said that, oh, I can beat you, or you're gonna lose, and I'm over here like, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win because and all of a sudden the enemy's like, what? Really? Why? Like, oh my gosh! Like, seriously? I'm like, oh my gosh! And it's the same for the second time, the third time, and the fourth time. Every episode is like that, and I'm the last episode he's gonna get messed up. Nope. His clothes did, but not him. But
I think that's why it's so. It was so interesting because a lot of people, like you said, normally main characters have a struggle, which is what entices people to watch the next episode.
Yeah,
but not this one. It was all powerful dude going into a place that was rank based. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, let me add that he was only using 1/8 of his powers.
Oh,
1/8 of his powers, and he was like not struggling at all. And I over here watching, like, what is it in half then? Like, if he sneezes, like, does he explode the whole universe or what?
Right.
One teardrop, oh, you're dead. He's that powerful.
Say what?
What'd you think?
Oh yeah, no, I thought it was I thought it was great. I enjoyed the entire anime. I agree. But struggling protagonist characters, that's so like early 2000s,
Oh yeah.
Naruto, Ichigo, all these characters, whatever. They're the past.
Yeah.
The early nowadays is all about you just come in OP.
Yeah.
Like like Saitama, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Goku, I watched him struggle since Dragon Ball, and all of a sudden he's like, Demon King could just come out of nowhere, go like this, and he's done. Yeah. Like, really?
Or like this, boom, and he like freaking motions. Like, dude,
like into my eyes,
Which is a nice what's it called? Breath of fresh air, because I remember being a kid sometimes and watching like older animes, and you're like, oh my gosh, when are you gonna be like awesome and just do some cool things? And now we're getting those animes where they're just cool from the beginning. You're like, this is sense of satisfaction just watching these great things happen.
Totally. I know that when I watched it, I was just like, oh, cool. He's like a super OP character. But my brother was the one that showed it to me. He's like, yo, have you heard of this show, The Misfit of Demon King Academy? And now I normally watch shows with OP characters like his, and I also read the mangas too. So when I found out that I didn't know what this was, I felt like I have failed myself. I was like, how do I not know of this amazing anime? And yeah, it was great. I was just like, okay, yeah, for sure.
Like you don't understand the amount of stress that I on like early 2000 animes. Like it was so stressful. And then watching this when I'm like, no, you're not. You're not gonna win. No, no, you're not. And then he wins. Like, he
Impossible.
just pulls it off. Like
Yeah.
I'm still surprised. I don't know why.
And the way he wins, it's like so like, damn, okay,
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
Right.
I mean, what is the craziest win to you guys? For me, I would say the craziest win was against Laos in the Hero Academy in episode I think 8 or 9, and he was gonna attack Anos, and he just blinked, and boom, and he not only canceled his power, blew him back. I'm like, bro, that would have initially, like, I don't know why it didn't, like, they were so twisted in their position on their Earth that they didn't think this guy is stupid powerful. I mean, there was no one else on that planet who has shown that level of power.
Right.
And they're just like, oh, I'm going to beat him up one day.
Are you though?
Yeah, right.
This guy blinked. I was like, he didn't even punch you yet. I can only imagine. What do you guys think? Oh, what about you guys?
1/8.
1/8.
I really enjoyed the last battle scene, like the one with not the one where they had the hero school.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and then they all like so him and the what's the girl's name? The one with the blue hair girl.
That is Misha.
Misha?
Yeah, Misha, and they go into the little bubble of that the heroes were making, and then they all had him chained up or whatever, and he just like, no, that's not gonna work. It just like blows them all up. It's like,
Yeah.
yep.
Like singular word. Boom, gone.
Yeah, exactly. And then he like uses their powers. It's like, what? You can't use that. That's holy. It's like, yeah, what? Nah, man. You don't know who you're messing with.
I know.
This is spoiler alert. He's the Demon King.
I know.
That smirk just says it all when he pans it up to his face. Like, is he not even like struggling? Not even a sense like, you know, like, no, he's like,
Right.
yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my gosh, all right, you got this. Blow him away.
Yeah,
Right.
man. For real. Like, I mean, is there any other win aside from the finding out that he had only 1/8 of his power?
Yeah. Like,
Ranuma,
the only
like,
reason
did
why I
you have
remember
it?
that is because one of the demon lords said that when you get reincarnated, you only get like 1/8 of your powers, like from the get go, right?
Right.
And so I'm like thinking, okay, when is his half gonna be approached, or
Right.
you know, like when is his full power gonna come? So
I mean, he was able to age in 1 month to like a 16, 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
bringing home
No.
like not one,
Yeah.
not two, but 3 brides.
You know
Wait,
what else? I don't know what episode. I think it might have been maybe like episode 8 or whatever, when they were having the fights at the demon school, and he just kept bringing him back to life. He like killed him and then brought him back and then killed him again and then brought him back. I was like, damn, that's savage, bro.
That was episode 1, bro.
Is that
Was it episode 1?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
episode
episode
1.
Oh my goodness.
Against
See-
Zeppis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Dude.
And he just kept bringing him back, and I'm just like, bro, that's savage. That's so messed up. You're killing them, and then he's like,
Yeah.
let me just drop you back into life, and
Yeah.
I will kill you again because you're being kind of a jerk.
Dude. And then, like, oh man, do you remember when he went to his brother? The brother tried to, tried to save him or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then then Anos turned him into like a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
And then he's all like, "You want me to kill my brother?" I was like, "You just did. That's how he's able to be a zombie." I was like, "Did we miss that?" I was just like, maybe that's not what he said in Japanese. You never know.
Mm.
Never know. Maybe he said, "You want me to kill my brother again?" Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I think they missed that one word.
Yeah. Anos reminds me of a character from the originals or from the Vampire Diaries. His name was Klaus, and what he did was he did the dark things. He did the things that people didn't want to do themselves. They didn't want to dirty their hands. He's the one that would do it. You know what I mean? He's the one that dirty their hands for the justice that other people think would be better. Like, he made those brothers who were so warped on position, care for each other again. You know what I mean? I mean, mind you, he had to kill people to do it, but I mean, he brought him back to life. I mean, how do you get mad at somebody like that? Like he killed
Right.
him and then brings him back, kills him, brings him back, and tells him to go home.
The 3-second rule.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you see his pose.
Yeah. And he's like, oh wow, tough crowd. Huh?
Oh, and also before we started the episode, I want to say yesterday or maybe like this morning from like 5 to 9, I rewatched all of it. I mean, I skipped parts of the arc that I kind of knew about, but like I watched all the like important parts, and I was just like, man, this show is awesome.
Yeah.
This show is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any shows that or any parts of the show that you guys want to ask to us? Everybody else. I mean, I have tons of questions, but I mean, do you guys have any questions for like me? I guess I don't know.
No, I don't know if I have a question, really.
Hmm.
I thought it was just good in general. They talked really fast compared to other animes, that's for sure. Because I'm telling you right straight up, man. I'm not the fastest reader, and you guys know this. I have dyslexia, so reading sometimes is the hardest thing for me. And they were speaking so fast sometimes that the subtitles were going. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like trying to just catch the main words, and I'm
You're
like,
right.
so there were parts where I was just like, I think I missed. Like for the longest time, I thought Anos was his. No, what was it? That Avos was his real name, and when they were saying Avos is his name, not Anos, I literally kept seeing the same name, and I'm like, I'm
like, what's the
confused. Like,
difference?
yeah, I didn't notice that there was the V in the end changed. I was like, I'm so confused right now.
Bro, I know what you mean. I have a little bit of dyslexia too. Like sometimes I would read it in the wrong order,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I'm like, wait a minute. So Lay is his name or Ray with an L or R? I was like, okay, all right. So I was just like, I'm just gonna stick with Ray Gransdory. And oh yeah, so I have a question. What do you guys think of the part where Misa, the girl from the Unitarian group, when she was trying to use her powers to help Ray's mom? You guys remember that part?
Yeah.
His mom was disappearing because she's
Yeah.
like half demon and half like fairy or whatever.
Yeah.
And something was wrong with her source. So like I kind of understand like a lot of like how magic tropes in anime and how you need something in order for something like kind of like in alchemy, like alchemists. What is that? Equivalent exchange?
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of use that ideology in that scene. And I thought that was brilliant and a little bit way overpowered. And which brings me back to the 1/8 power that you were talking about, Ranuma, where he was still able to do that at his current level.
Right.
Yep.
I'm like, how do you do that? He created a magic, right? Didn't he do that? That he created that magic.
Yeah.
And smoked Ray at the at the sword battle. Yeah.
They just demolished him.
Jeez.
Is it Lay or Ray? Like Ray with an R or L, like Lay, like Lay's chips?
That's funny. I just said, is it Lay or Ray? Like 5 minutes ago.
I'm just thinking about it right now.
I'm gonna stick to Ray because that's how he introduced himself in the episode 5. And then like episode 6, or not even episode 6. I want to see like scene 20 of episode 5. They call him Lay with an L.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Wait,
but
I just wanted to confirm
like,
that, you know.
I'm pretty sure it's Lay because that's what I remember them keep like the subtitles kept popping up. Lay.
It's on the website. It's Ray with an R.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah,
and you know, I'm looking at my keyboard right now. L and R are not next to each other.
Yes. Well, I think in the Japanese language, R's and L's are pronounced the same.
Yeah. So in Korean as well. When people say my name, they'll say Rio instead of Leo, and it's because the L sometimes just doesn't really work that great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I just totally messed up his name then. Instead of Ray Glanzadori, it's Lay Glanzaduli. Doodly.
Guns of
I-
Duty. Guns of Duty.
yeah,
Um,
I just totally messed that up.
No,
But
Misa's last name is crazy. Iriologue. Iriologue. It's
Bro.
like a
is that
monologue.
is like the epilogue and a prologue put together?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Is it a monologue and
Ideologue.
a dialogue? Made
Ideologue.
babies and made that, or
Okay. I guess we can go to our top fives or our 5 questions. We'll start with Leo. Leo, what is your favorite character and why?
Man. Honestly, I mean, it has to be Anos. It's just I just enjoy a good protagonist character, you know.
Mhm.
And
Built so well too.
yeah, he really, and you know what? Like, not that other strong protagonist characters aren't humble, but I just liked that he knew who he was, and even though people were giving him crap, it's like, oh, you're below us, you're not a royal, blah blah, all this stuff. He was like, whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever. And oh, by the way, when I blow you apart and bring you back to life, whatever. He was
Man.
not phased by them, you know. He was like,
Yeah.
and even though they were like, oh no, the Demon King's name was, Avos and all this stuff, and he's like, no, homies, no, that's me. Like, I don't know why the name has changed, but like, look at these powers I got. But like, he wasn't phased by anybody's. You know who else I liked?
Who?
The fan club.
The Unitarian
the
Club.
Unitarian.
Yeah, the Unitarian.
The ones
Yeah.
that would sing for him. That last episode got me
Yeah.
rolling. When
Know
they were
your
singing.
place. Yeah.
When they
Or
were
I'll
singing, I
kill
was like,
you, something like that.
I was like, is somebody gonna die? Because it's like a very sad song, you know.
It was so funny. I was dying. I was laughing so hard. I was like, this is so great. Let's just stop this entire fighting scene so that they can have a number in the middle of the episode. I'm loving every second of it.
Oh man. What about you, Ranuma?
I'm gonna go with my dude, Ray or Lay. Let me
Cool.
tell you why though. Anos is, for some reason, I think he's starting to get, like, after episode 2 or 3, he's cool and everything, but he's like overrated all of a sudden to me.
I can
Like,
see that.
okay,
I can see that.
you know, like, okay, we all know he's like the Demon King. He's very powerful, 1/8, yada yada yada. But I'm like, with Lay or Ray, he actually had he actually had a good reasoning behind why he was portraying himself as Avos, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he erased, time, and erased him from the history books and all that stuff. And then I was like, where the heck is canon this whole time? And I was like,
Right.
no, that can't be canon. So I'm like, okay. So Ray was that one. He was canon the whole time, you know.
Do you think, or did you think that Ray was Shin? Anos's sword? Do you remember? You remember Shin, right? He was the
Yeah.
one that-
Yeah. The guy who we all thought he was originally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I definitely did. My wife called it from the beginning. She's like, "Oh, that's canon," and I'm like, "No, that's Shin. They already explained it.
Yeah.
That's his sword and everything." And she's like, "No, that's canon." And then the last episode happens, and I'm just like, "Dang, good on you." I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. But did you also know? I think Misa is the water demon that Shin fought.
I didn't.
I think that's her.
Huh.
Okay, so you remember when Shin?
It
You
makes
see
sense.
the back story
Uh-huh.
on Shin.
Yeah.
Well, he fought a spirit
Mhm.
demon or something like that, and it would make sense that Misha is akin to her because
Mhm.
she was able to help Ray's mom, which is a fairy or like a spirit. You know, I was just like, "Yo, is that the mom?" And Canon was there, like right after that. When Shin fought
Mhm.
the girl, I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." I was like, "Were they always destined to be together?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I did like that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, Ray is also OP. Just so you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who?
I mean,
who's,
he's canon.
Yeah. So who's their favorite character?
Ugh. Well, this is tough, but I did ultimately choose Anos Voldigold as well because he does what he wants and he does it with absolution. Like he's like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat this now, and he's gonna go do it. He does it. He's just a go getter. You know what I mean? He's a go getter, and he gets what he wants, and he does it. And if he can't get what he wants, he will create it. He won't bother anyone else to do it. He'll do it himself. And that's is just a what kind of situation, you know? And also, I didn't write it down in my on my notes here, but it's the fact that he has a high familial piety. What's it called? Just very family oriented.
Yeah.
Like he loved his mom, he loved his dad very
Right.
much. So like, remember when his dad made that adamantine sword for him?
Oh, the sword, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like, this was made by the greatest,
Right, yeah,
the greatest swords forger, my father. Da, da, da. And then he just started crying. I was just like,
Yeah.
that's how you do it. I thought he was just a mama's boy, to be honest. I thought he was just gonna be like, he only lives to his mom, but nah, he loved his dad too. And I was just like, yes. I was like, and I even read it in the comments underneath the video on Crunchyroll. They're just like, I love that he's not only OP, but he is very obedient to his parents.
Humbled. But
Yeah.
he's like,
Super.
he's humbled. That's what I liked about him. Like once again, he was OP, but at the same time, he was humble about his situation, and he didn't get upset that nobody respected him as the Demon King, because he could have definitely made them at any point. He could have, but he's just like, you know what,
gonna
slowly.
wait,
I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah. So like, yeah, it was literally between Anos and his parents as my favorite characters.
His parents made me laugh so much. I
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah.
their parents. Every time they would come home, you brought 2 girls, son. How do you do this?
I know, right?
Where did you get these abilities?
I'm jealous. Not only am I jealous of you, but I'm proud.
I was busted up.
Oh man, so funny. Yeah, like they always jump to conclusions. I guess that's really what made them. All right. Let's talk about favorite parts. I'll go first on this one since I ended that last one. So my favorite part was when the teacher Amelia was destroying the Unitarian group, right? And and then she was ultimately gonna hurt Anos' mom.
Yeah.
And then he's all like, nah, He heals his mom, resurrects the girls, says that he owes something to the girls, and then and he tells Amelia to shut up, and she's just like, she just stops in her tracks.
And
She's
a
like,
stranglehold.
yeah, and then he chokes her out, and then they land in the ring, and then he stabs her in the back. Like it just happened so fast. He's just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like normally there's like a talking scene with the teacher saying, "Oh, you lowly this, you lowly that." Nah. She said that. She definitely said that. But she said that while being stabbed in the back and then twisted. Oh. and then she's like, "Okay, you're the Demon King. You're the Demon King." Nah, say it right, or if not, boom, and he kills her. And then he kills her, resurrects her into a hybrid.
A hybrid, yep.
And I'm just like, okay, because I was like, oh, he killed her. I was like, dope, she's out of the picture. Nah, he brought that chick back. You know what I mean? He brought her back as the person she hates. He's like, look into the dark, like, look deep into the abyss. And I was like, oh, snap. She used her demon powers. I'm no longer. No.
Not a pure purebred anymore.
Yeah.
And she goes to try to kill herself. He's like, nope. Every time you kill yourself, you just come back. I was like, oh. And I'm just like,
so good.
This is justice served right, because he didn't kill her necessarily. He literally just transformed her DNA.
Yeah. And now you get to see how they feel, because you're in their shoes, like literally.
And she's immortal. Oh my gosh, that's the worst. But ultimately, though, she can become stupid powerful if you think about it. You know what I mean? But that's my favorite part. Ronald, what's yours?
She can. Well, my favorite part of the season was in episode 10 when Lay was or Ray was. I forgot who he was facing in the Hero Academy. It was that little kid with the swords.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hayden.
Yeah, yeah,
Hayden.
Hayden, right?
That's his name. Yeah. Hayden.
Hayden.
Irog. Yeah.
Yes. So he was facing Hayden, and he had these two swords. I didn't pay attention to the names, and he said if what did he say? If he said if you kill them with this would happen or whatnot, and Hayden was like, "There's no way you can beat me" or whatever, and all of a sudden his arm goes flying off with the sword.
Yeah.
I was like, my face was just, I'm just like,
Yeah.
did that just happen?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm like,
who's?
oh.
There goes his arm. I mean, and then
That is pretty scene. That's crazy scene. Yeah,
and then he took his sword. He took both of his swords actually. And then when he was approaching Hayden was like, "You wouldn't do that to a kid, right?" And all of a sudden, I think he did.
Oh yeah. I watched that scene, and he said, "When I attack you with Zealous, it gives you a wound, but if I attack you with Zelos, I'm pretty sure those are the names.
Yeah.
It leaves a imprint or something like that, and it's what's it called?
Starts with an L, I believe.
Like a limprint, a lipid. Well, anyway, that is like an irreplaceable wound that you can't fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Unless you're the Demon King.
of course, unless you're Demon King. And he was like, and he's like, you wouldn't do that to a kid, like you said. And then he's like, nah, this is war, or at least this is an act. This is pretending like a war. If you don't understand that now, yeah, you know what I mean. I was like, you'll never understand later. Boom, and I was just like, oh gosh. Oh gosh. I'm like, this guy. I was like, Ray, you beast. And what was also cool is that, Ray can't be beaten by anyone else,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That the frick?
He's just that good, I mean,
yeah.
Another reason why I like him is because his style of combat. It's with the spirit sword. He doesn't use a lot of magic like Anos did. But he's always like up front fighting and has that sword, and I'm like, that's my favorite character, like my kind of character.
Yeah, he's definitely main character material for sure.
So what about you, Leo? What was your favorite part?
Man, so both of those scenes were fantastic, and in reality, that fight scene with what's his name, Haynes or Hayne, that was such a great scene because it's like he just told that kid to be quiet, chopped his arm off pretty much, and then grabbed his sword. He's like, "You can't touch my sword. You want to bet?
I got it.
I'm touching it," which makes sense now because he was Kanan, so. Because wasn't it? They said that demons can't touch holy weapons or something like that, or did I misread that?
No, you read that right.
Right.
Demons aren't
so
allowed to,
and then I mean, Kanan is able to touch it because he's
he's
not a demon.
Hero,
yeah, he's a hero.
Yeah.
So, actually, he's a hybrid, isn't he? Wasn't he a hybrid?
Well, he came back as a he came back as a demon, right?
Oh wait, he was a demon, but he was like the weak demon because he didn't have any magic.
Right, he didn't have any magic, even though he was part of the higher up group of people. But I think my favorite scene was, I'm a sucker for the parts that hit you in the heart, and for me that the last episode where Kanan or Ray stabs him with the sword, stabs Anos with the sword and kills him. We all assume he kills him, right? And I was like, I was like, wait, did he just die?
And then he takes Avos' helmet.
Yeah, and he grabs
as him.
As himself again, right? It switches the role back so that Kanan can still be Kanan. And you're just like, dang. That right there. And you know what? That reminds me of a show that I really enjoy. And I know we'll get to that later. So remind me to tell you what show it reminds me of. But that scene, I loved that scene so much because it was just like that bond, you know.
Yeah.
There's this hatred between the heroes and the demons and all this stuff, but here's Anos and here's Kanan, and they had this friendship that nobody even knew about, right? Because they sacrificed themselves the first time. Well, Anos sacrificed himself the first time and then does it again
Yeah.
a second time.
I'm like,
right?
history repeats itself. Okay.
Granted,
You know?
I don't. The part that I don't know, maybe you can clear it up for me. I don't know if Anos knew he was coming back to life, and I hope he didn't know that he was coming back to life, because it would make it so much more like impactful if he sacrificed himself knowing that he wouldn't come back for another 2,000 years or whatever, you know. But I that part I don't know if he already knew he was going to come back, and you know, because he's, you know, Anos and has all this OP power. But that was just, to me, I was just like, dang, that hit me.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he kind of knew it. Like he planned that whole thing.
I think it's not that he. I think it was his. It was the girls, right? Sasha and Misha. I thought they were the reason why he was able to come back.
Yeah.
That's how, right?
Yeah, if I remember well, they're the reasons why he came back. But I didn't know if he knew that they were going to bring him back unintentionally, right, from their perspective, right? Yeah. Or if he was like willing to sacrifice himself again with the knowledge that he wouldn't be back for another 2,000 years if he was reincarnated again 2,000 years later, right? Because that's what he said. He said, "Hey, wait for me when I come back," pretty much, you know. I was like, "Oh man, these poor girls," and I felt bad for the twins, right, the sisters, because I was just like, dang, they just saw him die in front of them. This is gonna be a horror. They're gonna be dead by the time he comes back. It was crazy.
Okay. Leo, so if you had an anime that you would compare it to, what would it be?
The anime that I would compare it to is, have you ever seen the show Code Geass?
Yeah. Lelouch,
yeah.
Whatever.
Lelouch's Rebellion. Mm-hmm. Probably one of my favorite animes. I don't watch shows over, and I've watched Code Geass maybe 3-4 times. I just enjoy the show a lot. It's such a great show, and if you watch the ending of Code Geass, it has a very similar ending to the Demon King.
Really?
It's an older anime. I think it was like early 2000s.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. But it's definitely.
I gotta look into that one.
I haven't watched it all, or maybe I have. I just don't remember.
Good show. That show, and it keeps you thinking. It's like the character in that show is just so intelligent, and he's playing a real life game of chess pretty much the entire show, and you're just like, dang, you. It's such a great show. I don't want to spoil it, because if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's so good. And it leaves you like hating and loving all the characters all at the same time. You're just like, man, I don't know how to feel about this.
For sure. Yeah, I gotta watch it. I want to rewatch it for sure.
Yeah, mine. If I were to compare that to an anime, it's gonna be kind of cheesy, but I'm gonna say YuGiOh.
Open your mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like he was reincarnated, and then Yugi was, I guess, reincarnated, like not reincarnated, but his spirit from 3,000 years ago went into, Yugi, something like that. So
through the Millennium Puzzle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and then all of a sudden,
games.
But the thing is with him, he had a lot of struggles. So a lot of struggles.
So tight. That's so tight. I didn't even think of YuGiOh, and Yugi and I forgot his name. Yugi's the Pharaoh. I forgot the Pharaoh's name. But the Pharaoh does give me Anos Voldigold vibes.
Yeah.
Is it the deep voice?
The deep voice.
The deep voice. Kaiba, open your mind. Yeah, dude.
Kaiba boy.
It's even cooler about the YuGiOh character is that Yugi and the Pharaoh, they went up against each other in a YuGiOh battle, and Yugi won. He beat the King of Games.
Dang.
That just means that he never needed him as a vessel. He's like, I would have clapped all those fools. Pharaoh.
He's like, oh, okay.
I mean, you know, like he had all those other guys with the Millennial Piece. Like there was Pegasus.
Mhm.
He had the Millennium Eye. Then you
Yeah.
had that other guy. Yeah, sorry, I'm going into Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but I loved the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. I had a Fiend deck and a Beast deck.
I think I had a fire deck and a fiend deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh until like last year.
Oh.
Last year.
I wanted to get back into it, but there's so much new stuff. I just kind of wish like the new stuff was like another type of game. You know what I mean? Like not a part of the old game, but it's whatever. You can only hope for so much. But yes, Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely. It reminds me of Anos for sure. For me, it was Noblesse. Have any of you guys seen Noblesse yet?
No, please.
Nope.
So
I don't know if
Noblesse, it's like kind of a story based off of vampires. Thousands or hundreds of millions or hundreds of thousands of years ago, lived nobles, and these nobles would protect humans from beasts. Like I would assume, like dinosaurs. But there was one that protected the nobles, and that person was called the Noblesse. So if the nobles fought dinosaurs for humans, like it kind of gives you an idea of how strong the Noblesse is compared to the nobles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the nobles was all powerful. Humans wanted the nobles' power, but no one understood the Noblesse's power. The Noblesse only came out when he needed to. You know what I mean? And so, and the Noblesse is actually based. It's a Korean show. And then Crunchyroll picked it up along with the webtoons, and they made it more of a Japanese named series. So, like in the manhwa, it was Shinwoo was one of the main student characters, and then in the anime, it was a completely different name. It was a Japanese name. I forgot the Japanese name, but yeah, Noblesse. He was all powerful. This fool was stupid powerful. Okay, so with a look. Okay, you guys know how there's like like those hydrogen bombs.
Yeah.
They were shooting hydrogen bombs from space. Okay, and Rai, the main character, the Noblesse, he looked at it and destroyed it.
What?
From Earth. Yeah.
Wow.
He goes like underneath, boom, looks at it, destroys it. Okay, and I'm like, yeah. So and he was like, and one of my favorite lines that he says, and it's to the Lord of the Nobles. So the Lord of the Nobles is like the King of Nobles, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, okay, you can be the king of the nobles. And my father wanted it for you instead of me. Take it. And he's like, no, you are the Lord, and I am always going to be the Noblesse. And I was like,
it's like, know your role.
Well, with that, I'm definitely going to watch it now.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, so good. But the part I said, the one where he looks at it, it's not in the anime. It's like literally the end of the manhwa. I don't know if it's going to go that far, but it does go pretty damn far. And it's a weird way to watch it too. Like you got to watch. There's 2 prequels, and then you watch the anime. Yeah, if you do want to watch it, let me know. I'll throw it on. Okay, so on the 4th one, we go like if did the show end the way that we wanted. To be honest, I wanted it to be longer. 13 episodes is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And now is it only one season for that whole show?
For the most part, they haven't signed on for a second one. So yeah, I'm assuming it's only one.
All the great shows always just go for one season, and then you're kind of like, why?
Yep, Angel Beats. Angel Beats. It was a great show. Made me cry.
Can you imagine this series as a movie though? Or did it have like too much story to build up? It would have been like a 2-hour movie.
Well, not necessarily, because you had Jurga, which is the betrayer,
Yeah.
and then you had his seven lords.
Right.
So I think that'll be a good like hour 20-minute kind of movie, just like a prequel movie.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one. Oh man. What about you guys? Like, did it end the way you wanted to? I mean,
I think it did for me. I mean, I wouldn't change it. You know, it's short and sweet. You know, if you prolong it, it's gonna be like, okay, we get it. He's super OP and Cannon's back in a way through Lay, so
mhm,
or Ray.
mhm,
So,
mhm.
um, and I wouldn't know what other antagonists would come about because what is his name? You mentioned his name earlier with the J.
Oh,
Jarga
Jurga.
Jurga.
or Jarga.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, that dude. He was just like one big bad apple, you know. Like
Oh yeah. It's
unless he
twisted.
had like another, unless he had like some more followers, then that would be like a good plot for season 2, which I doubt because he basically just stole all the demon lords and got them on the side and stuff.
Right. Right. I was like, okay.
But
Um.
I mean, other than that, I think it ended the way I wanted it to be, or to be ended. What about you, Leo?
Uh, I get your point. I definitely get your point. Like what else can you do with it? But it's such a feel good anime. Like it just made you feel good watching it that you just want to keep watching more of it. Like I don't
Exactly.
care what it is anymore. Just keep pouring it down. Because after episode 3, I was like 13. I was just like, what? That's it. But it just got so good. It's like, come
You
on,
did.
So yeah, I enjoyed how it ended. And let's be honest, there are a lot of animes out there, a lot of anime that are only like 12, 13 episodes, and they end like garbage. You just kind of sit there going, what was that? What kind of ending is that? Like it
Yeah.
just leaves it on a cliffhanger. And I understand sometimes they can't sign for a second season or whatever the case may be, but you just kind of are left with, oh my gosh, what happened there? And this one is like, if they ended it here, I'd be happy, because
Yeah.
they did a good job. I would like to see more just because it was such a good anime, but I was satisfied with the ending.
Yeah,
It's good. I mean, not a lot. Yeah, you're right. Like a lot of it, endings would be terrible, and they leave it on a cliffhanger, and you don't even know if they're gonna get a second season.
Right.
Like I don't know if you ever watched Assassin's Pride, but it was like that was exactly like that. I'm like, what is this? Like, okay, first of all, the anime hype, just the name alone it sounds dope, right?
Right.
But it was actually it was very disappointing, and and then the end happened. I was like, what just happened? What? But
it's like one of those that just build up to a big old climax and then done.
yeah, but I hear that they might get a second season. I was like, okay, I may watch it, even though I did not like the first season. Who knows?
You're
maybe they're
committed.
gonna maybe they're gonna explain what happened.
Maybe they'll give us like some insight.
Yeah.
Geez, I mean, for sure. All right, so I guess what is the overall grade? Um, yeah, what is the overall grade that you give the show? I'm sorry, Leo.
Out of what, 5 stars? What's that?
100%.
100%?
Yeah, A, B,
100%?
C, D, E. Or
Oh,
E, F. I mean, A, B, C, D, F.
no, I definitely. It's a good. I would say it's like a 95 for sure. And what I liked also was that not the main character, but a side character, in this case Ray, had a love interest, right? Because usually
Yeah.
it's only the main character that has like
yeah.
all the women after him and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, it's good to see somebody else get some love.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was super
Yeah.
happy about that. I was like, you know what? That alone makes this a great show because at least somebody else gets some love,
Mhm.
get some recognition. So,
I like that. I love when the side characters get that love.
but yeah, I
Yup.
definitely give it like a 95 out of 100 for sure. 90, 95.
For sure. That's a good
Out
grade.
of 100, I think I'll give it about that too. Um, Probably 95. Yeah, out of 100. It, there's not a lot of main characters like him. Um, I don't know, like out of all the animes that I've seen, I mean, granted, it's not a few or not a lot, but it's. I think it's enough to know that this is like the only character that I know that when he says it, he's gonna do it, and then there's like no struggle. It's effortless, and boom, it's just done. Like, you sure you want to do that? Like, I'm gonna win, and I'm like, God, this guy.
Like, I'm gonna beat you.
It's like, I told you.
I don't play no games.
Right? But yeah,
That's what it is.
that's my reasoning. What about you? Is
I gave it a 90, 89, 90. So like A minus.
okay.
And that's only because it was too short.
Oh
It was too
man,
short. The story was great. It moved quickly at a great pace. It moved as fast, or the pace was fast enough to match his power. You know what I mean? Like most animes have like that like kind of like a slow running start.
Yeah.
But nah, dude, like Misfit,
He
just
came out-
ran.
Yeah, he came out
Yeah.
running.
And
no,
it
he was
stayed that way.
sprinting, dude. He was sprinting a
and it
marathon.
stayed that way throughout. And
Yeah.
and then when he stopped, that was when he was using his powers, and you're just like, oh, dude, you know. And so yeah, like I mean, it definitely would have been higher if it was like 26 episodes. It would have been like 110% for sure. If they had made it like a ReZero kind of show.
But what would you see it to, or what kind of episodes would you see to fill in those other 12
Well, let's see.
episodes? Like,
He was able to reconnect with 2 of his lords, or 5 of his lords. So that
and there's
means
how many? There's 7, right?
Yeah, there's 7. So I think so like typical animes fillers for me would have been the families of all 7 lords doing like a tournament, or their kids, like the next up head of their families, don't like him, like like Anos, but they're powerful. They're almost as powerful as their their ancestor. So I would want to see the 7 of them fight him. You know what I mean? That would have been an incredible show.
I can see that. That would be good.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like that's one arc. That's called. I would call it the demon family arc.
Mhm.
That already sounds dope. I'd watch it. Then the other one would be the resurrection of Jirga. That'd be crazy.
Right.
What if he comes back as like a demon too, or like
That would be
Well,
that would be
I
so
mean-
sad for him.
that would
or
be
not a demon, not just maybe a hybrid. Is that worse? Never mind.
Well, no, he didn't like demons. Hybrids is
hated
what
it.
demons don't like. Demons don't like hybrids.
Oh well,
Because
yeah. So
it's
what if
like
he
a
became like a demon then?
Yeah, that
Kinda
would be. Well, that Anos would have to do that. Anos is the only person that can do that.
Never mind.
as we saw from episode.
Freaking
When
yeah,
Amelia
no.
got turned into
But
a
you know
hybrid.
what? I mean, also there's because wasn't there like multiple realms, right? Because there was the
Yes.
hero realm, and then there was the demon realm, and there were
Mhm.
other realms like the fairy realms, and I'm assuming and
Mhm.
other. I mean, there's stuff you could do with those too. Just I mean,
Oh yeah,
you know,
with
who
Ray's-
knows what's
Ray's mom?
lurking in the shadows out there?
yeah.
That's true.
Like there's so much more to their story,
Yeah.
and I wish they did that.
I think they have enough content and substance to bring in season 2. At least. I think there's
Oh yeah, definitely they wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we head out here, hey Leo, you wanted us to remind you of your favorite scene of Misfit of Demon King Academy, and it reminded you of.
Oh
something.
yeah, no. It was Code Geass. The last scene of Code Geass is it reminds me of the same kind of thing. It was just like if you watch it, you're just like, oh, my heart that hits you right here.
Feels
You
so
know,
good.
if
Let
you
me
watch
get a
it,
juice.
trust me, if you watch the last episode, just watch Code Geass, you'll understand what I'm talking about when you hit that last episode. You'll be like, oh man,
I might
get
just
it.
watch that one
I get
episode
it.
only.
Yeah, yo,
You know,
hey, let's watch an episode together on like Discord or something, bro.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm down. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. You know,
yeah.
I just because I forgot to say this earlier, but another another anime that it reminded me of was did you ever watch the show the Irregular
Yes, at Magic School.
Yeah,
Oh,
that show.
Tatsuya.
Yeah, it reminds me of that show in a bit because it's like this character he's really strong, but for whatever reason, because he doesn't have the same normal powers or whatever, they kind of just override him as being lower class.
Yeah, it's because his magic power was siphoned from him,
Right.
and they gave it to his sister.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and but what they
His sister.
yeah, and what they didn't account for was his genius.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another question: do you guys think coding will it'll be able to code reality?
Dang, that's a
Because coding is real.
yeah.
And Matt, that's what Tatsuya does. He reads magic like code.
What?
If you ever watch Knights and Magic, that's about a kid
yes.
who's a programmer.
Love that show. Good show.
Bro, awesome.
Good show. I hope they make a season 2 if they haven't announced yet.
Bro, like the whole show is in the manga is like up to like 99, chapter 99. But anyway, yeah. So, the Tatsuya character, he reads magic, and then he reconfigures it.
Yeah.
It cheat, bro, cheat. All right. Anyway, Leo, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, bro.
Thank you, Leo.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yes, sir. And Ranuma, take us home, man.
Yeah, before I do that, I want to read a quote from Anos.
Oh, okay.
So he goes and says, "You really think killing me is enough to make me die?" That's how OP he is, man. Like, seriously. Anyways, yeah, that wraps up this episode. Thank you to Wet Wong Media. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Like, comment down below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the links are down below. Thanks again for tuning in.
See you next time, guys.